This is something that I've never done before. This is something that I'm not used to. This is something that needs to be done. Need to talk about what's going on and why. So starting off, since I entered college, I've been feeling very anxious, very frustrated, with no real reason as to why. And on the process of attempting to fix it, but realizing that what I have been doing to fix it is wrong. So in high school, I remember graduating with a whole bunch of optimism and excitement for life and what was to come next, and the goals that I was wanting for myself. And of being the oldest in the family, I was the first one to go to college. And then I come from a family who doesn't have the same college experience or the same life, American life, that is used to, or that is known, high school, college kids. That's not what I grew up in. And I had no older siblings, no older friends to look up to and to ask questions about college to. I had a hardworking father and mother who worked their butts off to be where they are right now and to give me what I have, and I am eternally grateful for. I had unrelentless support from them, but I never had the how to do it from anybody. I had to figure that out on my own. And so, to start off with just the decision of what college to go to, so that decision was extremely uneducated. It came based off feelings, based off seeing everybody else go off to these big colleges, and me knowing it's something that I've always wanted to do, and I felt like Lamar was like not a failure, but less of a success than what I knew I could get. I felt like the school I went to defined me, kind of, without knowing that that's how I felt. I felt that the school I went to defined me. And so I applied to U of H, LSU, and UT, with UT being my number one, LSU being a backup. Didn't even apply to Lamar for that reason. I got accepted into LSU and then into UT, and so that's how I ended up at LSU. And I had no idea what a major was at all. I had no idea that going to college, or what college was, basically. I in high school, I thought that college was just an extension of high school. It was just more school, nothing more than that. Just something you do to get you a job. But I knew what made me happy, what I felt passionate in, what fulfilled me in high school. But I didn't know that I had to apply that to college. I guess you can say I looked at college as a status symbol and not of one to invest my future in. So I went to LSU and I applied as a business major because as a business major, I thought it would be cool to go to work every day in a suit. So I said, there we go. And again, I wanted that. I wanted business, the suit, everything, because that looked like success. That was what I thought success was. And again, without unconsciously saying it or thinking it, I wanted success to be so blatantly obvious to everybody else, the world, my success to be obvious to everybody else, that I felt that is what it was. The business, the suits, all that. Without actually saying it or thinking it or anything, but that's what it was. Again, with my school decision. And so I go to my first semester at LSU. I do the band. I mean, I love band. I still do. I find myself in situations I know I probably shouldn't have been in, and trying to make friends that I thought was what I needed to get through college, or the kind of friends I thought I needed to have. There was just unfulfillment. There was just a whole bunch of uncertainty and a lot of pretending. A lot of pretending. And so at the end of that semester, my first semester, I knew that at the end of that first semester, a lot of anxiety and frustrations had already started building in myself, and I knew that this wasn't okay. I did, and I thought that fixing it was moving. So I decided then that I wanted to move to UT, because UT would fix everything. Everything would be just fine. Without even thinking that, no. But that's how I felt. Because at UT, that was my first choice. And because I thought that, not necessarily explicitly, but I thought subconsciously that the school I went to defined me and was a status symbol, kind of. And that's where happiness came from. And so I put all my efforts into moving. In the next semester, I made straight A's. I got the grades. And was okay. But still very anxious and very frustrated and very uncertain and still. But I was okay because I was working on moving. You can say that my anxieties and frustrations and everything were a little bit suppressed, a little bit distracted, because I was okay, because I was working on moving, which would make me happy eventually. And in order to move to UT, I needed Calc 1 and Calc 2. So that was going to be done as quickly as possible. That summer, after I made straight A's, I went and got into Calculus 1 at Lamar. But it took me so much effort to. I went and spoke to the head of the department and said, hey, put me in this Calculus 1 class. And so he said, okay, sit down. He drew a circle, the unit circle on the board, and he said, basically said, do it. And I could not do it. And he said, well, I don't think you should go to Calculus 1. Maybe you should take a pre-calculus or a trig and then go into Calculus 1. I said, no, I can't do that. I need to move as soon as possible. I'm not happy where I'm at. If I need to do it as soon as possible so I can get happy as soon as possible. And you don't understand, like, how frustrated and anxious and how just horrible I feel about life right now. And so my ambition to be better put me in that class. I said, no, put me in this class. I got into Calculus 1 without being prepared for it at all. At all. I should not have been in the class. I failed the class. It wasn't a lack of discipline. It wasn't a lack of effort. It wasn't anything of that. It was just because my ambition put me in that class in a class in which I shouldn't have been, because I didn't have the foundation to be in that class. The foundation of knowledge to be in that class. So I failed that class. And so I got so anxious, so frustrated. The most I had been to that point. And so I had to adjust my plan. I said, okay, I can't go to UT, but I can still go to A&M in the time I have. The next semester, I took trig. I made an A. The next semester, I took Calculus 1 at LSU again. I made an A. And those were those math classes, okay? But going back to